Welcome to the Father's Day. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you all so much for being with us. And remember, you can support the Father's Day right there on thefathersday.tv on the YouTube there and locals.com. And I do appreciate it. I have with me Lauren Salaun. I said it right, huh?
You did? Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you.
Lauren Salaun. She is a Los Angeles-based dating and relationship coach. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
That's amazing. So how did you become and how long have you been a dating coach?
Yes. So I've been coaching for almost 5 years now, and it hadn't always been dating, but I've worked mainly with women, a lot with doing inner work, healing, self-awareness, that kind of stuff, like healing from trauma, whatever it is. And in the last couple years, so I would say really last 2 years, it shifted to be a lot more around dating because I tend to work with a lot of women who are high achievers, high performing, right? Are kind of the boss babe kind of woman who then were having a lot of trouble in dating and not meeting the kinds of men that they wanted to meet or not having the kinds of relationships that they wanted to have. And so working with them on, okay, how do we shift or, how do you do the inner work to have the kind of relationship that you want to have?
And so what made you decide to do this? I mean, you just walking down the road one day, you're like,
no.
Oh, Lord, I'm going to be a dating coach.
No, and actually,
a relationship coach.
And actually, I resisted it for a while. I didn't want to go be one of those online dating coaches and stuff like that and talking about dating on social media and everything. And so I tried to not really go down that path. But for me, kind of the cliff notes of it is I was married, so I've been divorced and was very much that kind of woman, right? And at this point now that feels so long ago, right? But entrepreneurial, did my own thing, very independent, all of that, and found myself in a marriage where where it was not a good match and ultimately not a good match for both of us. And coming out of that, realized, okay, what can I control? Just me, right? I can control myself and that's it. I can't control other people. And so if I want this kind of marriage or want to get married again or whatever it is, what work do I then need to do to make that happen, right? And it wasn't just about the goal of marriage, right? It was a lot of other things. Okay, if I want these kinds of results in my life, what work do I need to do for me on my end to produce those kinds of outcomes? And so part of it, was around dating. And I would say really I've been for the last couple years that friend to my friends who they are asking about dating advice and things like that, just seeing how I've gone about my dating experience since becoming single or, going through my divorce. And so that was a lot of it, working with women, lots of different women in lots of different stages of life and different kinds of relationships. And a lot of the common denominator was also a piece that they really wanted was around their dating life and
are you surprised at the type of response you've gotten from this dating relationship?
Not really.
No.
Not really. Because I think especially with women who have been in that boss babe kind of mode, right? A lot of the women that I work with tend to be entrepreneurial or tend to be growth-minded, have a growth mindset. And so they're open to doing work on themselves.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so they're like, okay, yeah, if I'm in the way of what I want or if I'm part of the problem, yeah, help me with it.
Nice.
But it is interesting because there are also a lot of women who definitely don't want to take accountability for the results in their life too.
How long were you married for?
Married for 5 years, together for a total of 10. Yeah.
Wow. And did you obey your husband?
Yeah.
You obeyed him?
I think we, in many ways, had a respectful, good marriage. And of course, both made our own kinds of mistakes and stuff too. I would have, with that relationship, would have wanted it to be more anchored in my faith and stuff like that. And so for if we're thinking the more biblical principles of obeying your husband and stuff like that, I think probably could have been more of that. But I think too, right? It takes two, obviously, in that kind of dynamic of the husband playing his role, the wife playing her role, and being able to create that kind of environment for that.
Amazing. You have kids too?
No, I don't.
Really? You were married that long and no kids?
No.
Why not? If you can say why not.
Yeah,
It may be personal.
well, absolutely, yeah. So part of it for me was getting to that place of being like, okay, I think I would love to have kids, right? Like coming to that realization and then realizing, having kind of a internal alarm going off, being like, but wait, something's not right? Like where my body, nervous system, intuition, whatever it was, telling me like, yeah, you as a woman, you're ready to step into that, but in this relationship, that doesn't feel safe, or that doesn't feel okay, that doesn't feel right in some way.
Meaning that he didn't want children?
No, when we were together, I think he did.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't, when I imagined what that family life would look like together, it didn't feel like the kind of life I had imagined us having. And so it felt like, if we have kids, then I'm going to be working a ton. I'm going to be really stressed. And that's, again, this is just my perspective of it, right? Just my vantage point. But it didn't feel like, it felt stressful. And of course, like, I don't know that when you think about having kids, it's always going to feel easy or like the best time, right? But that was for me one of the kind of signals of, wait a second, maybe there's something wrong in a big way with the marriage if you don't feel like it's good to have kids with your husband, but you're ready to have kids, but the marriage isn't.
And so did he divorce you, or you divorced him?
It was my decision.
Really?
Yeah. Ultimately, I'm very grateful. We had a very peaceful and respectful divorce. I think he, in his own way, realized, you know what, this is the right move for me as well. Like maybe I also haven't been happy. But yeah, it was my choice ultimately, but very respectful divorce. Yeah.
So you divorced him. Are you educated? You have a degree?
Yes.
Oh, I noticed. I noticed that, and according to the stats, educated women don't make for good wives, and they tend to divorce their husbands more so today than any other time. Have you seen that?
I don't know what we would define as good wives, right? Like what that definition means and what kind of the parameters are for that. But I don't know. I would imagine that educated women maybe feel like they have more options, not as far as men goes, maybe that too, but like feel like, oh, well, I'll be okay if I'm on my own because I have my own career, or I can go back into my career, whatever it is. That could be maybe why part of it. But again, that's also not to say that there are plenty of successful, ambitious, driven people who don't have degrees, right? So that's not the only, you don't necessarily need that to be successful, but
have you noticed that now that women are being educated, they tend not to make for good wives and good mothers? Because they aren't, as you just said, they have a degree, they can get any kind of job they want, they can take care of themselves, so they don't feel they really need a man. Have you noticed that?
I would say women who, have been in the workforce and have careers that they enjoy, and maybe, part of the education piece that maybe, that they feel more independent. I don't know. Yeah. When you say that they don't make for good wives and good mothers, what does that mean?
Meaning that they think that they're equal to a man.
Okay.
They think that they can lead the man, they can lead the family, they can do what they want, and that the man has to help out a lot. He has to help with the children, he has to wash the dishes, and they want him to take the woman's role because they feel equal to a man.
Got it. Okay. I'm sure that's going on in some cases, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so should a man marry a woman like that if he wants to start a family?
I think both people should be really clear on what kind of partner you want, what kind of spouse you want, whether it's a woman, what kind of husband you want, a man, what kind of wife you want. Be really clear about that, and then go for those people that are that kind of match. And I would say, like, for me, for instance, educated, college degree, have run my own business, all that kind of stuff, have been what I would call quite successful in my career. And I very much value more traditional roles in a relationship where, like, when I get married again and have a family, I'm not going to, like, no, but I still have to work full time and the job comes first. Absolutely not, right? So I don't think that, I'm sure I would think that maybe it's possible that with more education and career and stuff like that, that might be happening more, possibly, but I don't think that it should necessarily be an automatic red flag, because I think that, I don't know, I think a lot of men too, a lot of, if we're saying high value men or a lot of successful provider kind of men, I think a lot of them also, and you tell me, don't want a woman who's dumb, at least, right? Like, they want someone who's can have good conversations and who can support them in their goals, and so, like, have some sort of ambition as well, and who can be a good role model to children and stuff. And again, that doesn't necessarily come with a college degree, right? But I don't think that a college degree or education equals you won't be a good wife or
Do
a
you
mother.
think that women who are not educated are dumb?
No.
Do you think that their husband can have a conversation with them?
Yeah.
Oh, but what do you mean by women who are dumb?
Oh no, okay. So I generalized a bit there. But I think, like, and again, because I'm not someone also who thinks that everyone should go to college. If that might be a good path for you, it also might not. I don't think it's necessary by any means, and I think you can get educated, cultured, all of that outside of college. And especially, I think these days, like, I don't know, there's a lot happening in college that isn't necessarily all that education focused. But I think that it's equating education or a degree with she'll be a bad mother or a bad wife. I don't think that's a fair comparison. But, if that's something that's a big concern for somebody, they consider it.
Was your husband educated?
Yes.
He was. If you were to marry an educated man who could afford to take care of his family, would you give it all up, give up your career, your education status, and everything, and become a wife and a mother, and that's it?
Yeah, I would.
You
I would
would.
be totally fine with my priority being my husband and my family. I don't think I will ever be somebody who is, and I know this, I don't think I'll ever be someone who's content, like, without my own hobbies and interests and everything like that, which I know isn't what you said. I'll still want my own things that, I like to ride horses. I have my own podcast. I have fun doing that. And so I'll still, I imagine, want to do those sorts of things. And especially in this season, right, with how I view being a wife, especially after having a divorce, how I view being a wife and the kind of mother that I want to be, the kind of wife that I want to be. When that's what's going on, that gets to be the number one priority, and I have no issue with that.
Would you give up your podcast and everything for your family?
If it was getting in the way of me being the best mother and wife I could be,
Because being a
absolutely.
mother,
it's just a podcast.
Being a mother
end of the
and a
day.
wife, you can't afford to do anything else but that in order for the children to turn out well.
I wouldn't agree with that.
You would not?
No.
And why not?
Well, because I think also that the kind of mother and wife that I want to be, it's important to me to have things that fill me up and that have things that satisfy my own passions and interests and stuff like that. Because if my entire life, and I'm talking 100% of my time and energy,
Right.
which is a lot of time and energy, if all of that is devoted to just my husband and just my children, I imagine that there will be some part of me that, my interests and stuff like that. Like, even I mentioned, like, I enjoy riding horses and stuff like that. That's for me. That's not for my man. That's not for my kids. Sure, they could be a part of that, but that's something that's just for me because it makes me happy, right? It's not a job thing or anything like that. But so those sorts of things are, I think, really important on an individual level.
So having just a family, your husband, your children, would not be fulfilling.
No, I think that would be absolutely fulfilling.
So why would you need anything else?
I have so many interests.
But you
And
have
I
to let
love-
all that go for a family
Why?
because they need you there 24 hours a day.
No, they don't.
Why not?
Because I also think that it's very okay to have help too.
Have
whether
help?
whether that's a nanny or not all the time, but whether that's an occasional babysitter so you can have a date night, right? Or parents watching the kids so that the kids can bond with their grandparents and stuff like that.
That's
So
amazing.
I don't think it's a 24/7. I mean,
That's
you're always
amazing.
you will 24/7 be a wife and mom, but I don't think that means you have to be quote unquote on the clock, always hands on
Yeah.
with your family, right?
I don't want to get into all your personal business, but did
That's
your
okay.
husband want your divorce or you wanted it? Did he want it?
It was my choice, and he didn't fight me on it, but it was.
But he didn't want it.
Had I not gone there, I don't think he would have gone there.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's sad, huh?
I think anytime there's a divorce, it's sad because I don't think you get married with the idea that you're gonna split up. So yeah, it was very sad.
Would you ever marry again?
Yes.
You would.
Yeah.
And why?
Because I believe in it. I think I'm a romantic at heart, and I believe in the beauty of uniting your life with
then
someone
why
like
didn't
that.
you stay married with your husband?
You'll have to ask 5 years ago me, 6 years ago me.
Amazing.
Because at the time, I didn't see a path forward with our relationship
Oh,
at
I
that
see.
point. Yeah.
Amazing. So you mentioned how dumb women can.
Oh, gosh. I knew it. Me saying that one thing, we're going to run with it. It's okay. Let's go.
No, I'm not. But I've heard it before that men want to be able to have a conversation with his wife, and so he would want a woman that's educated. So you're not the first one to say that. I've heard men say that, women.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is that women who are educated seem not to know what they're talking about.
No.
You you tend to have better conversation with women who are not college educated. They tend to be more honest and can have a real conversation with more so than an educated woman.
Interesting.
Have you noticed that?
I haven't noticed that, but I also, for myself, I haven't not noticed it. So I don't know. I guess it would depend on what you're talking about, right? And the person. And again, I also I wasn't saying. I want to be really clear. I didn't mean if you don't have a college degree, you're dumb. I didn't
No,
mean
she
that at
did
all.
not mean that. I'm just playing with her with that. No, I don't think she meant that.
But I think that I'm going to guess that maybe what you're getting at is that there's like a arrogance, right, or an ego that some of these women
college,
might have.
yeah, they have it. They're out of control.
Yeah.
And especially the black woman. Oh my
Okay.
God, they really got it bad.
Okay.
Because they haven't had a man to leave them in 70 years.
Mm.
And so have you noticed educated black women are worse than educated white women? Have you noticed that?
I haven't, but I also deal with it as a woman. I'm going to see a very different experience than what you're going to see.
Meaning what?
As a man. So like I'm not, there might be like a different kind of energy that I'm getting from an educated woman versus not.
Oh,
but
I
I do
see.
see it, but I would say, I think that just what we're seeing, like just in the country and stuff like that, I think a lot of people throw their degree, right, and their education
Yeah.
as like a jab at somebody else, or of like, I'm better than you because I have this
Absolutely.
degree and stuff like that. So I could see
Especially
that.
black women. Have you noticed
Okay.
that? They really throw their jab. They're saying now that, the black women, they're saying that black women are more educated than white women or white people.
Oh,
Can that be possible?
I don't have the data on that, but I think it could be possible,
Ow.
but I don't know. I don't have the numbers to refer to.
I want to ask, so you pretty much work with women, not men, right?
Yes, primarily with women.
Oh, let me ask this first. Are you a Christian? You mentioned faith.
Yes, I'm a
You
Christian.
are a Christian?
Yeah.
And how long have you been a Christian?
Oh, I would say, I mean, there's been different inflection points of really
Right.
like recommitting to my faith. We grew up Christian in my family. My parents were both raised Catholic, and so like knew about God, went to church during holidays, that sort of thing. But I was telling your team before we started rolling, I went to a Lutheran church, like in later elementary school. We started going when we moved one year and got confirmed like in junior high, I would say, maybe 6th grade. I forget.
Got confirmed?
Yeah, went through the confirmation
like
process.
Like a Catholic thing?
Yeah, but we did it at our Lutheran church. So I did that. And then I chose to go to a Christian college, which was kind of a random, unexpected decision. And I absolutely loved it. So I would say in college while I always like was aware of God and probably felt connected to God, during college was when I first really like gave my life to Jesus. And then I would say 2 years ago had another big like moment of like recommitting to my faith.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
And so why do you want to be a Christian?
Why do I want to be a Christian?
Yeah.
I think that's the truth.
What's the truth?
Jesus. I think that the Bible is the truth, and so that's the path that I want to take, is whatever I think is the true path.
And why?
Why? I think because, and I'm not an expert on this stuff, and I'm not a like Christian apologetics person, like expert, but for me, I have experienced the impact of Jesus in my life and in the people's lives around me and stuff like that. And so I've felt it to be true, not just like, oh, I think this is the truth because people say so and the Bible, all that kind of stuff, but I've also experienced it in my life and like very much experienced like Jesus's presence, all of that, and like have that very real relationship with Jesus.
You were raised by your father and mother, they both were Christians?
Catholics.
Yeah,
they raised Catholic, and then we went to Lutheran church together. So yeah, I would say
you were
Christian.
raised by both parents, though.
Yes.
I hear a lot of Christians say they defend their faith. Mm-hmm. Have you heard that?
Yes.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
And how do you defend a faith? What does that mean, and how do you do it? Because I've been talking about that all week on my radio show, and I don't know what that means or how to do that.
Yeah, I think...
What does that mean, and how do you do it?
Yeah, I think what that means to me is defending your faith is not necessarily being defensive, though that too, but when you're seeing, I think when you see opportunities to speak about your faith and whether that's to talk about Jesus or talk about how your faith has impacted your life, it's taking those opportunities to speak up on that.
Okay.
I think it's also taking opportunities to speak up when you see evil, right, and bad things. I think defending your faith is also speaking up when people might be saying things that are blasphemous, right, or like saying things that are attacking Christians or attacking faith, right? That's then a much more like active defense of the faith. But I think it's being connected to and willing to share about your beliefs. For example, I during 2020 started exploring a lot of like new agey type spirituality stuff.
Oh, okay.
And for like maybe 2 years. And during that time frame, I thought, oh, I'm still totally a Christian and I'm still like good with Jesus. Like this is all works together. It doesn't, spoiler alert. And was exploring these other beliefs and ideas that are not compatible with Christianity. But I felt like they were, right? And so I kind of like was in that zone. And since I came out of that, right, I have a lot of friends who believe those things too. And so very real examples of me being able to defend my faith have been like conversations with those kinds of friends who still are believing those things, where I'm not going to go at them and be like, no, you're wrong because blah, 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 yeah. Right? But I'm going to get curious, or now I'm going to offer like, hey, this is what I was thinking back then also, and now here's what I'm thinking, like, because Jesus.
Okay, amazing.
Thanks.
And do you have perfect peace?
Perfect peace? Oh,
yes.
Gosh, how would we define that? No, not always. I have a very peaceful life, and I would say on an individual level, I'm very peaceful. There's not much that stresses me out, not much that makes me angry or throws me off my center. And even when there are really tough things.
Right.
Thankfully, like because of my faith, it's a lot easier to go through tough stuff because I'm trusting that even if it doesn't seem like it to me, like there's a better plan and I'm on the right path.
And so do you have perfect peace?
How would we define perfect peace? And then I can answer it better.
No, I just want to know, do you have it or not?
Oh, I don't really know what it is exactly, but so I
So
would
if
say
you had it, you would know what it is, right?
maybe, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if I have perfect peace, but I would say I'm very peaceful. It's a very peaceful existence for
And
me.
do you have anger?
Very rarely.
Do you have anger?
Sometimes.
So, and why?
I think I feel anger when I don't get angry very easily at all.
Right.
And again, like, cause it takes me caring about something a lot to get angry over it. And even then, anger is not necessarily the most productive emotion to feel in most cases. But stuff that angers me is when, I think the most is when like people I care about, people like whether it's friends, family, my boyfriend, whoever it is, like family members, when people are mistreated, taken advantage of, treated poorly, that sort of thing, that kind of stuff makes me mad.
Is it possible to be of God and have anger?
Yes.
And how is that possible?
Well, because that's one of our many human emotions that we have been given as humans. And
You believe God gave you anger?
well, I think God gave us the capacity to experience anger, absolutely. I think God gave us all of our emotional capacities. Now, I don't know where in the Bible this is, we could look it up, but I know we are allowed to experience anger, but then not supposed to act from that place, right? Not supposed to sin as a result of our anger, right? Not supposed to mistreat other people as a result of our anger. So I think it's totally fine to experience anger. It's what you do with that anger.
So you believe that God gave you the ability and capacity of being angry?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah.
And if that's true, why does God say that anyone that has anger is a murderer and do not trust an angry person?
Where is that?
In the Word.
But where?
In the Word.
Where
I
is
don't know
it,
if you gotta
Jesse?
read it. I'm not a Bible thumper, it's in there though. But why would he say that if you believe he gave you the ability to be angry?
So I think and again, I'm not an expert in
You're
scripture.
not a Bible thumper?
No, I'm not a Bible thumper, nor am I an expert in scripture. So I actually would be so curious to, like, I'm going to add that to my mental list to look up later and look into that. But
he
I
said
think
that anyone that has anger is a murderer.
Yeah, has like committed anger toward their brother or something like that. I think
not trust an angry person.
Well, yeah. So I think the seed of anger, like that, can go in a lot of bad directions, right? And so I think it is. And again, I forget the verse, but I think it's, be angry, but don't sin from your anger. And so I think it's that moment of, okay, if you experience anger, give it to God, go to God with that, talk to God about why you're angry, but don't act from that place, right?
Well, he didn't say all that. Why do you say it?
Well, I would want to see, if we're going to be talking about scripture, I would want to crack open a Bible and look at the context of what you're saying so that we can understand it more. Because he also does say in the Bible, be angry and go,
If it was possible to overcome anger and never be angry again about any situation, but deal with everything perfectly, would you want to do that? If it was possible to overcome
never
anger.
Feel anger. I don't enjoy feeling.
Anger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anger's not
I'll tell you before the show ends today how to do it.
Okay.
So if you knew how to do it, to overcome it, you would do it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I rarely feel anger, and it's when I do feel it, I don't enjoy it, but I think too, it's when we feel any kind of unpleasant
Well, I'm going to tell you what
emotion.
to do so you would never even feel it anymore.
Perfect. Deal.
Because it wouldn't be inside of you, so you wouldn't feel it.
Okay. Deal.
Oh, let me ask this one other thing, and I want to get to what you're doing, your work.
Yes.
Do you create your own thoughts?
This is a fun question. Yes, but not every single thought I think is our creation. I think we can create our own thoughts. I think God can give us thoughts, I think also the enemy, devil, can give us thoughts.
And how do you create your own thoughts?
Oh, we're getting very metaphysical here. How do we create our own thoughts based on our beliefs, based on the stimulus we're taking in from our environment, based on what we're going through, based all of that.
But how do you create thoughts from that?
Know the answer to that exactly.
So then why do you think you create thoughts then?
Because I don't think that every single thought is only from God or not God. What do you think, actually? I'm curious.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. I want to know.
You're the expert here.
Not on that.
So let me ask. So you don't create it. Okay. We'll get to that in a minute too.
Because I think you can have thoughts that aren't from you and aren't from God.
Oh, I know what I want to ask. Are you a good person?
I think so, yes.
You are a good person?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
And what's good about you?
I think that you're going to make me get braggy or something over here. I think I do my best to be connected to God and live the way that I think God wants me to live. I think I'm a kind person. I think I am generous with my energy and my love and things like that. I think that I also have clear principles and things that I stand for, and I'm consistent in those things as well.
Okay, so what's good about you? I know what you think. You just name all these things that you think about yourself, but what's good about you?
I think those are good qualities.
And why do you think those are good qualities?
I mean, I think if I'm basing my belief system off of Christian perspective and godly perspective, I think it is good to follow the teachings of God.
But
So if I'm doing my best, and by no means perfect at it at all, right? So if I'm doing my best to be connected to God and living in the way that He wants me to, then I think I'm doing my best to be good.
amazing.
No.
And who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Everything about me?
No, who are you?
Oh my gosh. Who am I? I mean, simplest way to, I love that this is becoming very much like a faith talk. I would say
Like a what?
Faith talk, like God talk.
Oh, okay.
That I think the simplest explanation is like child of God, and here to live my life the way that for that, whatever that unique purpose and that unique path that God has set for me, that's who I'm supposed to live as.
Oh, okay. So you told me you belong to God and
Yeah.
what you do, but who are you?
How else do I explain that? I'm my unique person, you know? I'm all the experiences, beliefs, everything that's brought me to this point. And yeah, I could throw out like adjectives and
So
stuff like
you're
that.
saying that you're everything that you've done?
No, I'm
What do you mean by all
me
the
today,
experience?
right now, is
Right.
the accumulation of all of my experiences and things from my whole life, right?
So you are accumulation of all your experiences?
On one level, yeah, on one
Really?
level.
So when you were robbing a bank, did that
I've never
mean
done that.
Not that you.
I've never done that.
Are you a bank robber? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but I
how
also-
can you be an accumulation of all your experiences? Not that she's robbed a bank. I'm using that as an example. So how can you
well,
be?
I also don't like if I were to say like, oh, who am I? And I say I'm a dating coach. That's so limiting. That's just one thing.
But
I'm
it wouldn't say who you are. It would say
no.
what you do.
Correct.
But who are you?
I mean, without explaining it in just adjectives, like child of God, experiencing earth and life for the first time. I'm Lauren Salaun.
What is it like not knowing who you are?
I think I know. Well,
What?
I know who I am and what I stand for very much.
But that's not who you are, though. Who are you?
I'm Lauren.
That's your name.
Okay. How do you want me to answer this question? Because I
No,
think you have a very specific
I'm
answer
just
you're
wondering.
looking for.
No, I'm just wondering. So let me ask.
So wait. Who are you? How would you answer it?
But if I tell you who I
No, I'm curious. Because I like how you're thinking. You ask interesting questions, so I'm curious how you would answer it.
I'll tell you later. I want you to
You're gonna
smoke
tell
on
me.
it.
You're gonna tell me later on all these
You
things.
smoke pot?
No,
Have you ever smoked pot?
I have before.
So are you a collection of your pot smoking too?
That is part of my past,
You
and
don't
so
look
that
like you smoke pot. Why do you smoke pot?
I have before
Why?
because I found it in those times to be enjoyable.
Amazing. Isn't that amazing?
I guess.
So
Yeah.
let me ask, you coach pretty much women, not
Yes.
men, right?
Yes.
And so what do women want? I noticed that women do not know what they want. By working with them, what do they want?
I think there are a lot of women who do know what they want, and a lot that probably don't, or a lot of women who think I want XYZ, but they actually want something else,
Right.
right?
Right. 'Cause I
and-
know that anytime men try to please their wives and do what they want, the woman is never satisfied. The more he tries to satisfy her, the worse she got.
Oh.
So even if the man try to give her what she says she wants, she's not happy with that. So what do women want?
I think that boiling it down on a very basic level, if I'm going to generalize most women, I think
Yeah.
that most women want to be adored and like deeply loved, and to feel like they're loved for feel like they're loved and seen, if we're saying that, not just like looked at, but loved and understood on a very like deep level. I think that's a lot of what women are looking for.
So that's what they want.
A part of it.
Really?
Yeah.
And why do they want to be treated like they're God?
I didn't say that.
Well, you said love and adored and heard, and all. That's like a God-like treatment. Why do women
think
want to
that
be treated like God?
I don't think being loved, adored, and seen is that crazy of a expectation from a relationship or like a marriage. I don't think that's treating someone like God.
But why do they want it then? Because that is because they get angry if you don't treat them like that. Why do they want to be treated like they are God?
Well, I don't agree that that women want to be treated like gods.
But then why do they get upset when they don't get that?
So if women don't get treated with love, adoration, the feeling like they're seen and stuff like that,
Right.
I think it feels, I think at the basic level, we all want to be deeply loved and understood, men and women, and loved for who we are, right?
But if they don't want to be treated like God, why do they get angry if you don't treat them that way?
Again, I don't think it's wanting to be treated like God. I think God requires a lot different, more than just those things. And I think those are pretty basic things to want in a loving relationship. But, well, because I don't know, like sometimes when people don't get their way, they get mad about it.
But why though? If they didn't want a God-like treatment, why get mad if you didn't want that? And why do they need that?
I think at our like basic core level, like all people, men and women, are just wanting to be loved.
But why do women need it? They're like hungry for it.
Because I think that's part of our biological wiring, is as women, men too, but in a slightly different way. But I think with women really wanting to be loved and adored and receive that kind of energy.
Another thing I noticed about women, they tend to want what they can't have.
Oh.
Why is that?
Can you give me an example, and then I can answer it better, I think.
They could have a good husband, for
Okay.
example, and he works, he takes care of the family, provide for his family. He has a roof over her head. She's full with food. She's satisfied, but she still wants something else. She want a man that's going to treat her a little different than that, or she want a bigger house, or she's never satisfied with what she has. Why is that?
Why, I think, would be, it like depends on the relationship, the woman, the man, whatever is going on. So, but generally speaking, I think there are a lot of people that have this idea that they should be always wanting more or always wanting better.
But why though?
I don't know.
But what's wrong with the women that are never satisfied?
I think there's some belief that they have that they should always be striving for something more or whatever it is. And I think that can come from I think, having a hard time with just being like grateful for what you have. And that can come from struggling with like consistency on some level, or struggling with stability, right? So when people sometimes are like, oh, I always need to go for the next thing,
right,
is because they might not be satisfied just like settling into, and not settling in a bad way, but like being where they're at.
And when you run into women with those issues, what do you tell them to do about that?
Yeah, so I actually don't. Thankfully, I tend to work with a lot of women who are self-aware and who are willing to do the work and will acknowledge like, oh, hey, maybe this is a shortcoming of mine, or I need to grow in this way and stuff like that. But in those kinds of situations, I would ask a woman, okay, are you actually unhappy in this current situation, in this relationship? Are you actually unhappy with everything you have right now? Or are you just operating off of some like pattern or some limiting belief that's telling you you always need to be running forward, right? Like trying to figure out, okay, is this a internal thing that you need to figure out? Or are you genuinely not happy for whatever reason?
Oh, okay. Amazing. You said that you believe that women are chasing Jeremiah in their own relationships. Who is Jeremiah and why are they chasing him?
I don't know what that is referring to. Who is Jeremiah?
Oh, what does that refer to today? Your publisher said that, according to my producer.
From Love is Blind?
I guess so.
Maybe, the show? Oh, I don't know what that is referring to.
So your publisher told my producer, but you don't know what it is. You don't know who Jeremiah is.
I mean, the only thing I can think is that was related to the like dating show, reality show, Love is Blind.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't know what that's referring to exactly.
Are you going to fire your publishing person?
No. No.
You might not have said this then.
Okay.
You say that women glamorize emotionally unavailable love interest. And did you say that?
I think that is true. Yeah. A lot of the times. Women,
So are you saying that a lot of women are sleeping around?
No.
Or like sluts?
No, that's not what I said. No, I was saying I think a lot of women glamorize emotionally unavailable men or glamorize toxic men, that sort of thing, where it's like seeing and I think people throw around that term like toxic men. I think people throw that around way too cavalierly, but I think women can see like a bad boy or a guy who like doesn't treat them very well and stuff like that and think like, oh, but it's so exciting, or like, oh, I should chase after, or I should like do whatever it takes to try and be with this person, when it's like, wait, but why? His actions, his behavior is showing you that he doesn't really respect you, or you're not a priority for him. So why are you making it like romanticizing like this like dramatic love story situation?
Right. Oh, okay.
I think we see that. And I think we see that a lot from like social media, reality TV, all of that. So that might be the point they were making with the reality show.
Do you agree with me that women who sleep around without being married are sluts, and men who sleep around are slut makers?
Well, I don't know that I probably wouldn't call them sluts. I don't think it's a good habit to be in, or a good practice to be like sleeping with people really like casually and stuff like that. Right. Or like multiple people, like, I don't recommend that.
So do you agree that they're sluts and that men are slut makers?
I think the men are acting, if men are doing that too, they're being a little slutty too.
That's why I said they're slut makers.
I don't think no, I mean, it's kind of slutty behavior from both people, right? Both sides.
Right, that's what I said.
Yeah.
The woman is a slut, and the man is a slut maker.
Well,
True or false?
I think those are the definitions we're using. I'll let you
What
run
do you
with
think?
it.
Do you like that? It makes sense.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from.
And so, what will you say to those women who are glamorizing emotionally unavailable men? What should they do about that?
I think if a woman is finding herself in a repeated pattern of being with men who are a certain way that's not good, right? Or like, oh, I always date narcissists, or I always date guys who cheat on me, or I always date guys who don't treat me well, or whatever it is. If a woman is repeatedly finding herself in that kind of situation, the common denominator is her. And that's not to say that it's her fault, but she should take a pause maybe and realize, okay, if this is a repeated pattern in my life, what am I doing to invite that in? What am I doing to like that is showing the world or showing other people that I'm okay with this? And so I think that's an opportunity for women to do the inner work, right? Do the healing, whatever inner work it is, to shift those things so that the lived experience, so that her reality and the results she's getting in her relationships and dating life is different. So I would say, okay, let's take a pause, like take a little break from dating. Let's do some inner work, some coaching, some that kind of stuff, some healing, get really clear on what you do want, and then make different choices, right? Because I think a lot of people, men and women, but a lot of women fall into that cycle of then they do the same things hoping for a different outcome.
Right. But it is her fault that she get in those relationships. It's no one else's fault, right? It's her fault.
I mean, if we can simplify it down to that, like on a really, like, onto that level, sure.
Is it her fault?
I think that we are the architects of our reality in many, many ways, and we're in control of our own lives. And so if we want to, I don't like using the fault word because I don't want, like, you know, people get into situations for a lot of reasons. Like if someone had a really awful childhood, that's going to shape a lot of their behaviors in adulthood. Now, a lot of people make the choices to do the healing from that so that they're not making crappy decisions, but a lot of people don't. And again, so sure, yeah, that's their fault,
So
I guess.
is it her fault?
It's her responsibility to change it, I would say.
Is it her fault?
It's her, she is the cause of that. So sure, if we want to say it's her fault.
Why is it hard to say, yes, it's her fault?
I don't want this to be clipped into some soundbite that's going to look a certain way, you know?
So what now?
No, I was saying I don't want this to be popped up in some soundbite that's making me sound like I'm blaming women for stuff, you know? But I would say.
But what's wrong with blaming women? Women are at fault for the things they do. And men are at fault for the things they do. Why can't women say, and a woman admit that it is her fault? It's nobody else's fault.
You know,
but her.
I actually do think that women.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think that.
So why is it so hard for them to say it's women's fault or the lady saying, my fault, I did this?
Yes, I think if a woman finds herself in the same kind of crappy situation over and over again, and a man too, if you find yourself like, oh, this is my third time being in a relationship.
I know, but why is it hard for women to say it's their own fault? It's no one else's fault but theirs.
Because I think there's more nuance. Well, no. I think that fault can be, just the word can be very like, make it seem like they knowingly went into those kinds of situations that caused a lot of pain for them.
But they love to blame everybody else for their situation. Why do women love blaming everyone else for their situation, but never themselves?
I think that's a problem. I think men and women.
Why is that, though?
I don't know. I think that whether it's men and women, we have an epidemic of victim culture going on in our world right now that has, especially in the last, 10 years, but really in the last 5 years or so, been encouraged, a victim mindset. And so I think a lot of people, whether it's dating or someone's money situation, whatever it is, a lot of people are blaming anyone else but themselves for their situation.
Especially women, right? So let me ask, and I wasn't thinking this way at all. So as we are speaking, are you thinking about sound bites and and clips. That's going
I mean, sometimes.
So you're sitting there thinking, you know what? I better be careful what I say because they may use this as a soundbite.
I'm very aware of what I'm sharing, of course.
Because
I understand how the internet works.
Wow, I was not.
But I want to be clear. I'm not thinking you're gonna pull some like shady stuff on me. I'm not thinking that. I'm just wanting to be really mindful of the words I'm choosing.
Because they may take it and put it into a soundbite, and you look bad.
No, I don't think you or your team, but I think like, things can get chopped on the internet, you know? People don't like context these days. They look at 5 seconds and they're like, I've got the whole story figured out, instead of looking at like the whole picture and understanding the subtleties.
Whoa, mess. You have you noticed an evolution of masculinity on the screen?
I think we've seen a lot of things with masculinity. I think a few years ago, masculinity was really under attack. I think that anything that seemed more traditionally masculine or whatever was called toxic, no matter what, even if it wasn't. I think there are definitely masculine people and men who behave toxically, just like I think there's plenty of women who behave toxically, right? But I think that there was a few years where anything that seemed traditionally masculine was under attack and was called as like bad or wrong or toxic. And I think that caused a lot of men to kind of like retreat in many ways, not want to speak up, not want to ask women out, whatever it was, right? Like, I think that was really unfair to men in a lot of ways. And I think that, you know, there's crappy men and there's crappy women, right? On both sides. Just like there's good men and there's good women as well, right? You're going to have bad people of both genders and good people of both genders. And so while I think, yes, like bad male role models shouldn't be getting as much attention, just like bad, you know, female role models shouldn't.
Why do women hate men so much that they made up that word, toxic masculinity, or those words? Why do they hate men so much that they try to destroy them?
So I think that there was a lot of, and that's like a lot, like I don't completely know the answer to that, but I do think that there was this like very big push to make anything that was masculine be bad, right? Yeah. And so there was like an attack on masculinity, I do think, and I think we saw a lot of like weak men kind of come to the surface also that weren't necessarily great role models or having good messages. And I think we saw a lot of like, I think we also saw like a lot of highly emotional, not leadership, but I think that like, cause I think there is toxic masculinity just like there's toxic femininity.
But there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. That's made up. Those are made up words. That doesn't even exist.
I disagree.
What is it? What is it then?
Well, so I think that healthy masculinity is about strength, about protecting, about providing, about creating safety. I think healthy masculinity is leadership, is decisiveness, is taking action, all those kinds of qualities. When that goes bad or wrong is when those sorts of qualities become controlling, become manipulative, become domineering, become oppressive, right? Whereas toxic femininity is a lot of what I think we've seen in recent years, but I think it's been changing the last like couple years. So a lot of toxic femininity is like feelings over everything, right? Well, I feel this way, so it must be true. Well, my feelings feel like this is a bad belief, so it has to be wrong, right? So bypassing all truth, right, for the sake of feelings. That's toxic feminine energy. And I think that was like a lot of our culture the last several years. And I think it's starting to balance out a little bit, but also we'll see.
Why do men listen to women knowing that women don't know what they want and knowing that, why do men listen to women telling them how they should or should not be or act? Why would they listen to that from a woman when women don't even know what they want?
I don't agree that women don't know what they want.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Why not?
I think many women very much do.
Have you ever met a woman that knew what you want?
I know what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why would men listen to a woman?
Because I think it's valuable to be open to perspectives outside of your own, right?
Oh, okay.
And if men are wanting relationships, like if a man wants a healthy, long-term, loving, passionate relationship with a woman, it would be worthwhile sometimes to hear a woman's perspective.
Should a man listen to a woman?
It depends.
Should a man listen to a woman?
I think it depends on who the woman is and what the topic is and what the advice is.
So should a man listen to a woman?
Yes and no. This isn't a yes or no. This isn't a yes or no kind of question. It depends.
Okay, so you're saying sometimes a man should listen.
Sure.
It all depends, right?
Yeah, just like I don't think.
God said whenever a man listens to the woman, he suffers.
Okay.
What do you say about that?
Well, I see again. If we're taking the one sentence out of scripture, because I don't know where that's being pulled from in scripture, I would want to read
It's in there.
the story.
Because you listen to the woman, you suffer.
I would want to know the more of the context of this so that we can have a conversation around it. Because I'm willing to bet.
Have you ever known any situation where a man listened to a woman and did not suffer?
Yes.
You in your own life, have you ever known any situation where a man listened to the woman and he didn't suffer?
Plenty.
Like what?
Where I would say, so even just in my career and things that I do, there's been plenty of times where I've given sound professional advice to a man, and
Did
it was
he take it?
Yeah, and it ended up being a good
Otherwise,
situation.
he suffered.
What?
I bet he didn't take it, the advice. And if he took it, he suffered from it.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this
I guarantee you.
How much money we want to put on it?
And whatever. No, I'm playing. No money. So, should a man be emotional?
What emotions? I think that a man can be. It depends. What are we talking about? Like crying all the time, super angry all the time, right? I think that it's fine to experience and express emotions if it's done in a responsible way and if it's done in a way that doesn't like throw him off center.
And so, should a man be emotional?
I just gave you my answer.
Is that a yes
I know
or
you
no?
want a yes or no.
Right, on this one.
Yes, with responsibility and with boundaries.
But I noticed that any man that's emotional is a woman.
Well, but so that depends on what you're saying is emotional. If he's going to be just like crying and like sensitive all the time and angry all the time, then no.
You agree that any man that has anger is a woman?
No. No. No.
Why
No,
don't
I
you
don't agree with that. Because I
But
think
that's a woman's nature to get angry and
what do you mean?
right. That's a woman's nature,
I
not
think
a
that
man's
anger
nature,
tends.
right?
Oh, I think anger tends to be more of a masculine emotion, actually.
No.
Why?
Any man that has anger is like his mother. He's a woman.
Oh,
Right?
Not the mother.
Isn't he acting like his mother if he's angry?
Well, I don't know. Was your mother angry?
Is that true or not?
If a man had a very angry mother, then maybe that's why he's acting angry. But
If he had an angry mother, period. Right?
I don't know. I think it depends on the man.
So let me ask this. I tell men to date for 7 years before getting married.
Wow.
Is that a good idea?
I think that's a really long time. Why that long?
Why is that long? What do you mean?
7 years to the same woman before marrying her?
Right.
That's a really long. You don't think you know sooner if you want to marry someone?
Well, he can find out sooner. Let me tell you how.
Okay.
Let's say you meet a woman. Let's say you meet a man.
Okay.
And you guys go out on a date. And on your date, you talk and you order your meal. And while they're going out to the waitress going to get the meal, the man asks the woman, if we should get married, would you obey me?
Okay.
And if she hem hard about it or says no, he should just get up and leave. Leave her at the table with the bill and everything because he already knows that's not going to be a wife for him.
Okay.
So you can find out a little sooner than 7 years, but it's best to wait because women tend to hide their true colors until after marriage.
Gosh, 7 years is a long time to be hiding.
But it goes by fast.
7, wow. No, I disagree with that.
Oh, you disagree?
7 years. Yeah, I think that's too long to be. If both of you haven't decided you want to be married by that point, I think you should just move on.
Right, about 7 years you will know.
It's a long time. I hope so. I hope so.
So let me ask, were women created to lead or to follow?
I think if we're looking at it biblically, I think that women were created to be a helper to a man, but I also think that a lot of people interpret helper as like subservient and less than, which I don't think is the way that it's intended. I think it's supposed to be very different but complementary roles and purposes. And I think that my view of it is that men are the leaders and women are more the support. And I think women can lead in different ways than
So
the
were women created to lead or to follow?
If we're going to get it to a very like basic level like that, more to follow then.
And do you believe in the order of God?
Yeah, what do you mean by that, the order of God?
God and Christ?
Okay.
Christ over man, man over woman.
So I would say it, so again, like I don't like to think of it in such black and white, simple terms like that. Like I would
Why
say.
not? That's how God put it.
No, but
Simple
let's talk about it a little bit more because in Ephesians, right, it talks about women submit to your husbands the way that the church submits to Christ, right?
Meaning that the way man commits to Christ, yes.
Yeah, so the way that...
Because the man is the church.
Exactly. So women submit to your husbands, women respect your husbands the same way that the church submits to Christ, right? So with that devotion, that leadership, that surrender, that's how women should be with their husbands. Surrendered, trusting, respecting, all of that. But then a few verses later, it says, and men, love your wives the way that Christ loves the church, right?
Love him, yes.
And yes, and we both know, right? Jesus chose to come into human form, right? Humble himself so much. God chose to come into human form, less than, right? That's becoming a human is way less than God, right? He chose to humble himself in that way to serve the church, right? Jesus came to serve, not to lead. And Jesus came to also die for the church. So if we're thinking it, right, if we're saying like, oh, husbands, love your wives the way Jesus loved the church, husbands are supposed to love their wives with that kind of sacrificial service love.
Let me ask because of time.
Okay.
Do you believe in the order of God?
Yes.
God and Christ? Christ over man, man over woman?
Yes, I would say it differently, but yes.
You do believe that order?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask, do you agree with me that the God above is the man's God and the God below is the woman's God?
What is the God below?
Satan.
No! Sir, you know that's not in your Bible.
I wouldn't be saying if it wasn't in the Bible.
We're going to crack open a Bible after this. I don't have one with me, but
Me either.
there's one here, I bet.
Yeah, there are several here. So do you agree that Satan is the woman's God?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't think Satan, no. Because that's not biblical.
It is biblical.
No.
If it was biblical, would you believe it? Would you agree with it?
I would have to see what you're talking about.
If you saw that in the Bible it's biblical, would you agree with it?
I don't think there's any biblical scripture that backs that up.
That's not the question.
If it were in the Bible, I mean, I guess, but I don't think that. I'm sorry, I was just surprised by the question.
I know.
Yeah.
But if it was in the Bible, would you agree with it?
I'd have to, I mean, I guess if you know.
I'm sorry?
I said, I guess.
What do you mean you guess? You believe in the Bible?
I do believe in the Bible.
So if it's in the Bible, would you agree with it?
Okay, sure. For the sake of our game here.
No, not for the sake of our game. Would you agree with it or not?
Okay, sure. And yes. And
sorry?
that's not, if that were in the Bible, sure.
Oh, okay.
But that's not, God of heaven is not just the God of men. That's the God of everybody.
The God
Men and
of
women.
heaven will become the God of the woman if she turned away from her original God, Satan. She can turn away from him back to the Father. But until that happens, Satan is her God. That's why women are so mean and conniving and insecure, right?
I'm gonna have to see what Bible you are reading.
It's
here.
in the Word.
I don't know.
No, it's in the Word.
I don't know.
Just for the audience sake, it's in the first chapter of Genesis.
What though? No, hold on. Let's get into it a little bit more.
Short,
Okay.
When Eve, in the beginning, Eve obeyed her husband.
Okay.
She loved her husband.
Yeah.
Who loved the father, his father. And they were all one.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yes.
And then Eve went to the market, met Satan, and after several times of going to the market, she believed Satan and no longer believed her husband. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Who believes his father. Is that true?
She was tempted by Satan.
And she believed him, right?
Yeah.
And the moment she believed him, Satan became her God because
Okay.
she would no longer listen to her husband, right?
Okay.
I rest my case.
I don't think that rests your case.
It does.
For all women, their God is Satan.
Until they return to the Father.
I think for all people.
Why do you think women turn children away from their earthly father?
Who
and
does
turn
that?
them toward, all women do,
All women
Uh-huh.
turn their children away from
their
their
earthly
fathers?
father and toward their father, Satan.
That's a bold statement.
But true.
Well, I don't know if it's true.
What do you think of women? No, it is true, but what do you think of women who, if there's a divorce in the family, in the marriage, or they made a baby out of wedlock together, the man and the woman, right?
Okay.
She tried to take the man, children away from him, go to court and cry and carry on, and try to take the man, children away from him. What do you think of women who do that?
I think that the best situation for children is going to be both parents
But
being...
what do you think of women who take the children away from the fathers?
I think it's not like it's hard to just generalize that because I think there can be situations where those fathers are bad fathers.
Never.
Never.
It's always the woman, the bad mother. That's why she's taking the child.
Never.
So what
There's
do you
no such-
think?
there aren't any bad dads. There are no- hold on.
What do you think of women who take children away from their fathers?
I think it depends on what's going on in the
No,
situation.
that's not what I asked.
Okay.
What do you think of women who take children away from their fathers?
I think that should be the last case scenario.
Is that person a good person or an evil person? That woman.
Again, like I can't generalize because I think it matters on like the case by like what's going on in the situation.
Is that a good woman or evil woman? Good mother or evil mother?
I think neither parent has in that if that's the situation that it's come to, I think both people have probably failed
No, I'm
in
talking
some
about
way.
the woman that take the children away from the
Well,
father.
that's my-
go to court
yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, so
is
I think-
that an evil mother or a good mother?
I think that both people probably made some poor choices to
No,
get to
that's
that
not what
place.
I asked.
I know, and I can't say one way or the other, good or evil.
And why not?
Because like if you give me a specific situation, I can give you a more specific answer.
Every day, some woman taking a man, children away from him in a breakup relationship,
Okay.
either married or not, and she go to court and she cry.
Okay.
And the court take her side and make the man pay child
Why'd
support.
that man-
spousal support,
Okay.
every kind of support.
Why couldn't
And
that man keep
and
his
then
family
even
together?
if he was able to get, if he got
Okay.
a little visitation right, she made that impossible for them.
Okay.
Is that a good woman? Are those good women or evil women?
I think that even if you don't like your spouse, partner, whatever, you should try and have the other parent as a good role model in their life, right? But I also then let's say like, okay, then why couldn't that man, if he's a leader,
That's
why
not
can't?
what I asked
No,
her.
I know that's not what you asked.
I asked, was it a good woman, mother,
I know,
or
but
evil mother?
How'd this good man let his family fall apart
That's
like
not
this?
what I asked.
Oh,
Now you're blaming the man.
well,
You
I
doing what
mean,
Eve tried to do to Adam. What a mess! It's not going to work. You're trying to blame the man.
These poor helpless men out there. What are they going to do? They're just being taken advantage of and victimized by women all over.
Or evil mother?
I think it depends on the situation. What's going on?
Is that a good mother or evil mother?
Jesse, what if that man was abusive toward that woman? Then I think her taking the children away. Sir.
Women are abusive toward men. To men, men are not abusive to women.
Ever.
And
Never?
men are trying to protect themselves from that woman.
I think stats would disagree with you on
stats
that.
lie.
Okay.
Because they take the side of the woman, they're afraid not to.
Okay.
Isn't that true?
No, I don't.
So let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you how to find perfect peace.
Okay, yeah.
Because of time.
Okay.
If I could tell you how to find it, would you look for it?
Yes.
You would?
I feel like I'm prepping for a funny situation here, but yeah.
You got to drop your anger.
Yeah.
And do you know how to drop your anger?
Tell me.
Do you know how?
Tell me. I'm curious.
No, do you know how?
I mean, like I said, I don't experience anger very much at all.
Right, but you have it, though. It's in you.
Sometimes.
But I'm trying to tell you I'm showing you a way where it's not
so
even
tell me.
in you.
So then I guess I don't have the 100% perfect answer.
Forgive your mother for recreating her image. When she made you angry as a kid, imposing her will on you, or turning you away from your father, or playing victim, whatever, or to mothering, she made you angry as a kid. You were innocent. She made you angry, and the moment you became angry, you became like her. Okay. And she turned you away from your father. And that's not going to change until you go to her. Oh, she couldn't help it. She did the best she could. Mm-hmm. Her mother did it to her. And her mother did it to her and so on. And your mother did it to you. And God forbid that if you should have a child in this condition, you're going to do it to your children, to a child. But once you forgive her, God will forgive you and take the anger away. And I promise you, the spirit of anger will not exist at all inside of you, and you'll deal with everything with perfect peace.
I am a big proponent of forgiveness, and I think it's very, very important and very healing in many ways. Will you go and forgive your mother? Now that you know? I've had conflict with my mom that I've forgiven her for.
Will you go and forgive her for what she's done to you?
Sure.
You will?
Sure.
Amazing.
Yeah.
If you do it by realizing that the sin is the anger, which is evil, right? Mm-hmm. Anger, resentment, it's the same thing. Anyone that has anger is evil, and they judge, they play God. And as long as you're judging, you would never know God. What would your father say when you were growing up and you would ask him to help you deal with your mother? What would he say when you would go to him and ask?
No, but he would... Yeah.
I mean, when you were a kid and you asked him to help you deal with her,
I wouldn't necessarily.
Did he help you?
Yeah, I think both my parents, if I had a conflict with either one,
did your father help you deal with your mother when you would go to him? Hey, Daddy, help me deal with Mom. She's crazy.
I never said
angry.
that. I never said that about my mom.
I mean, when you would go to your father to ask him to help you deal with her, would he help you deal with her when you were growing up?
Sure.
He will help you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, forgive her, right? And you will have perfect peace.
Do you have perfect peace?
You, I do.
You do? So you've forgiven your mother?
Absolutely.
Good.
Every human being on earth, God said, all who are born of the flesh must be born of the Father, right?
Yep.
And that's not going to happen till you forgive your mother.
Yeah.
All right? I got to put you on the hot seat.
Okay, let's do it.
I need you to ask these questions as quickly as possible.
Okay.
The hot seat.
What is love?
Unconditional acceptance.
Was Jesus white or black?
Jesus was, I think, Middle Eastern.
What's the best place? What's the best place for a first date?
A nice dinner.
True or false? When she's crying, she's lying.
Sometimes true, sometimes false.
Do you love white people?
Yeah. Not all of them, but yeah.
No, do you love white people?
I don't love every person of any color.
Really? How about white people?
I mean, no, I don't love all white people.
How can you be a Christian and not love all people, all white people?
Oh, okay. We're going to go there.
No, I'm just asking.
You're right. No, I get what you're saying, though.
No. What am I?
I have love in my heart for, yes, all people.
Oh, now you're making that
No,
up.
I know. You called me on it. See? Thank you. But no, you called me on it and you helped me be a better Christian in that moment. See what we did there?
Do you keep a bottle of hot sauce in your purse?
No.
Taylor Swift or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Which is worse, abortion or slavery?
Such a bad question. Guys, can I pass that one?
Which is worse, abortion or slavery?
Slavery?
What is love?
I already answered that one. Unconditional acceptance.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What is a man?
A human with XY chromosomes.
Should transgender men be allowed to play in women's sports?
No.
Should women be allowed to play in men's sports?
No.
Amazing. Abortion, good or evil?
Ultimately, I would say evil.
Is it ever okay to call a woman fat?
I think you should choose different words.
Do we need more white babies?
I mean, I think babies of any race are good if they're born to healthy, loving parents.
Do we need more white babies?
Sure.
Is the earth flat or round?
Round.
Does the bear shit in the woods?
Yes.
Have you ever tasted something that was so good it made you want to slap your mama?
Sure.
Did you have fun? Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for taking the hot seat.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Tell the folks how to get to your podcast or whatever else you want to put out.
Absolutely. So you guys can find me on my website, laurensalaun.com, on Instagram and TikTok at laurensalaun as well. And my podcast is Amplify with Lauren.
Do you want to tell them how to spell your last name?
Sure. It's so first name, Lauren. Last name is Salaun.
Okay. I want to make sure they get it.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking on the hot seat and coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Amazing.
This was fun.
Thank you all for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it. Don't forget to support the Fallen State right there by becoming a member or on locals.com, all right? Let us hear from you. If there are other amazing guests that you would like to see on the Fallen State, contact my producer at thefallenstate.tv. And don't forget, I have my own coffee now, Punchy's Coffee. It is so good. It's so good it makes you want to slap your mama. So check it out at jesseleepeterson.shop. I do appreciate it. And thank you again. That was amazing.
Thank you. It was fun.
Amazing.
That was awesome.